the greatest thing I've ever seen. You're overdue. I just felt it's something that makes you look good, and that's cool, and you know, I'm all for it, but I think you need to tone this down because now it's getting obtrusive to the show. But they can go in the afternoon for a UA
Hold
show,
on a second.
as they did there, and they can do 180,000 buys for an afternoon show, which they've also done for All In. So
okay,
we know they can do. We know they can do big.
Can I continue this before you cut me off? We know one thing.
Yes.
We know it might have done well because it went on first.
I'm not saying it would.
Here's my thing, Dave.
But here's okay. Wait. Okay, here's the thing. Oh my God! It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I mean, it didn't mean anything to me. It was just a match.
That's the problem, Dave. It should mean something to you.
Give him a quick squash win just to show that, like, you know, he's not a loser.
What's up, everybody? I am your host, Phil Marks of Pro Wrestle Times, and this is hashtag DMDMW, Dave Meltzer, dumb. Moment of the week, ladies and germs, and boy, do we have a good one. We have star ratings, of course. We have an emotional Dave Meltzer who calls JD a fraud. And I see more and more people out there asking, we need a Phil Marks JD from NY link up. And I agree. Let's do it. Yeah, I put a poll in the chat. You guys can let me know in the comments down below or in the chats. Who do you think is a bigger fraud? Dave Meltzer, Bryan Alvarez, or JD from NY, because Meltzer's going at him now because that's who the AEW people. I mean, it's not, you don't need to be a fucking detective to figure out. They're all in texting circles at FTR and Dave, and they're all kissing each other's bums. We know that. So we're going to cover some of that. The Dynamite Ring ratings disaster, Dynamite Diamond Ring, not even ratings disaster, just an argument between Dave and Bryan goes down as well. Cope over John Cena's final match, and some takes on New Japan and all of that stuff. So guys, hit like, hit subscribe, rate this thing 5 stars if you're listening to it in audio. Because without further ado, it is time for everybody's favorite segment and moment of the week, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. You cook here, folks. You gotta cook off. It's a cookout. A cookout. Hope you guys like the new thumbnail. Trying something different here, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna start things off with some star ratings that Meltzer had been doling out. Actually, nix that. I want to start with the John Cena stuff because everyone's so tired of talking about it. I already know, but we didn't really get Dave and Bryan's takes. We got a little bit of Bryan's takes, but we need some Dave Meltzer takes here. Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. So let's take a listen to Dave's take on John Cena losing and the way he did it.
People are going like, you don't know wrestling if you think that he should have done anything but lose. And it's like,
who's saying you don't know wrestling? That's just elitist shit you do.
No, it's a debatable point. If you're talking about Hall of Fame wrestlers, I think more of them have won than lost.
Dave, listening to PWT confirmed.
So on Saturday, his father, Fritz von Erich Vern Gagne, you know, Terry Funk in Japan. I mean Bruno Sammartino in his theoretical retirement match in the Meadowlands. I mean, I can go down and
Undertaker's last match, he won.
Undertaker. You know what? The guys who say it has to be this way, that shows they don't know wrestling history.
They don't know wrestling. That whole thing about
they didn't learn. And I actually agree with that point. That's the point I've been making. Not like they don't know history. Just it's that people just parrot shit that other people say. That's the fucking problem. And Dave knows that because he takes advantage of that and uses that to galvanize sickos and shit, as we've pointed out so much on this show. But like, it's just a thing. It's just an easy thing to parrot, like, oh, it's what you do, you know, and then people got to point out, well, no, that's not really what happens. But Dave, again, waiting until all the arguments came out, and he can use this to skirt away from the fact that he and Bryan were just dead wrong big and you're strong. You got it going on. You're dead wrong. So Dave was just dead wrong, and so was Bryan about like the format of this show and all that other shit, so they can just harp on this. Luckily for them, right?
Time-honored tradition.
Okay,
that Vince mentioned. Brett wasn't retiring; he was going to another promotion.
It's not even another promotion; he was going to the opposition.
Whatever, yeah. If John Cena's going to AEW on Wednesday, if you know that's happening or whatever, and he's not retiring, beat the guy.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, when a guy,
no, that's dumb too. Because, and I'll explain this. I said this on one of the live shows as well. Because guess what happened? Edge went to AEW after beating Sheamus in Toronto in front of a fucking hometown crowd. You understand?
Just in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
So, like, even with Bryan saying, it's like, whatever, man. That's just old. You're all just saying old guy shit. I'm sorry.
is retiring. The fans are already sad that the guy is retiring. There's nothing wrong with him winning his last match.
And there's nothing wrong with him losing it either. It's just fickle fans trying to... We wouldn't be talking about this shit. It's a week later, Raj Giri's still arguing with people about it. It's like, it's fucking... We wouldn't even be talking about it. We'd be like, oh, Austin Theory's the masked man, huh? Oh, shit, whatever. Like, no, there'd be nothing to even talk about. So...
No, it's been done countless times.
That's exactly the time-honored tradition.
Been done countless times, exactly. So why do that same thing again? That was the argument before. So
was never about retirement.
But like Bryan and Dave, they are right about this assessment. But they laid in the cut. They did the right thing. They laid in the cut. They heard Phil Marx's premium take on this, and then they took it for themselves.
The time-honored tradition was if you're a main eventer in a territory and you're leaving to go to another territory, and these territories, and wins and losses mattered in those days a lot. The idea is that the right thing for business is for you to put a guy over to strengthen the territory and make a guy a top star.
Imagine that. Imagine if Sting did that, where AEW could be right now.
When you leave, that's the reason of the time-honored tradition. It's about leaving a territory and putting a guy over, when you're leaving, when you're giving your notice and everything like that, which absolutely makes sense. When you're retiring, it's a completely different thing.
No, it's not. Not if you didn't want it to be. Not if you didn't want it to be. So, for instance, when DX retired or whatever, DX beat the Brothers of Destruction in Saudi. And I think that was Michaels' last match. He went out with a win and shit. Undertaker beat Styles in a boneyard. And even then, you could argue, well, he should have gave it to Styles. Styles was around for how many? 5 years after that or whatever. But it's like, it can be if you want it to be. So Dave's just like, well, that's just a territory thing. Nope.
Because it's
all just cope. It was just a thing that Cena wanted to do, and it fucking made sense, and we're all talking about it. And if any of it was truly bad, they wouldn't have done this insane business they did this year. Which doesn't even make sense. All this fucking people, Sports Illustrated drops their list. Everyone's like, oh, why the fuck? This shit is, this is crooked. And Alba's coping. Nah, creatively, they peaked. What the fuck does that mean? Does that mean? They all took ayahuasca in a jungle and came up with fucking ideas. Like, what does that even mean? Creatively. That's all subjective. Okay? You can't say... In wrestling, the peaks and valleys are what are you doing in the ticket sales? I'm sorry, it's what it is. Like, period, point blank. All the goats understand this shit for some reason. It's just all the people like coping who can't grasp this fucking concept. Stone Cold. John Cena tells a story about Stone Cold on Cody Rhodes' podcast recently too, where Cena's like, yeah, Stone Cold came in. He's like, how you doing, kid? Whatever. Oh, there weren't all these fucking curtains when I used to work here or whatever. Then he just walked out of the room and they were like, fuck. And it's like, yeah. And then what did Cena do? All these sellouts and record gates and all this shit. Well, it's just corporate bullshit. Dude, Tony Khan makes his fans chant pay-per-view at him. He wishes he was doing, if he was doing record gates, you'd all be going, AEW record gates. Everybody can't shut up about how AEW has the the fucking record, all in record attendance, whatever. It's just ridiculous. So,
In cases in retirement matches, the idea is that, hey, he's retiring.
The idea is, hey, he's retiring because Dave's booked a bunch of retirement matches. Because Dave knows better than John Cena. All anyone has to do is just look at their own lives or look at anyone around them and just go, okay, with all of the success John Cena's had in his career, is it more likely that he has made a ton of good decisions or a ton of bad ones? Right? I'm not saying he's perfect. And he's likely made some bad ones. Oh, he buried the Nexus that one time, and Alex Riley was fucked up. Okay, that's 2 instances. Just he wanted to do this. He wanted to make Gunther. And now everyone's booing Gunther. Now everyone's like, oh shit, Gunther versus AJ Styles. There'd be no hype. If Gunther retires AJ Styles, I swear, fuck this company, man. And then everyone's going to melt down, and then you're going to fucking shill out more money to see Gunther lose the next one. It's the Floyd Mayweather thing, man.
Let's give him a nice ending.
A nice ending. That's what I get when I visit backstage at fucking Dynamite. Is that what you fucking get when you visit Collisions, when they come down to fucking Santa Monica Boulevard or wherever you're standing there, fucking Dave Meltzer?
People are going like, you don't know.
He needs to phone MJF's got to hook Meltzer up with his guy, with his hair guy. You know what I'm saying? Guys, holy shit. We have this is fucking unreal. Plenty and Pixel Art gifted 10 PWT memberships. My word. Holy fucking shit, dude. I need to play you music for that. I don't even know. Dude.
Sometimes in life you got to be a hoe.
That is an absolute massive support. Thank you so much for that. And I hope people receive those who are hate watching or who really wanted a membership. I do member-only shows as well, so plenty in gifting 10 of these. And a bunch of people have told me, like, they got gifted a membership and then have fucking continued to keep their membership because of the, you know, the member shows or whatever. So just unbelievable. Plenty, and thank you so much, bro. I appreciate that. Merry Christmas, dude. Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you so much. And then JWT for 5 says, what are the odds that it was Derpy Dave's idea to send Sting out with a win? Bro, Dave, we're going to get into that, man. Dave says he didn't have Tony Khan and the Young Bucks telling him not to do that. Okay? We're going to get into that, bro, because it's like, we know he's booking for Dax. We know why Dax licking taint now. We know why. We know exactly why. My video got copyright struck breaking down. You guys fucking know that, okay? Like, I piece this shit together. Dave is getting phone calls. He's pushing ideas for Dax to do the overrun on the pay-per-view, or what? And now Dax is sweeping for him after trashing him for years? Dude, it wouldn't shock me for 1 minute, JWT6577. Just shined a light on how dumb that was. Yeah, we're going to get into conspiracies and more. Dude, thank you, Plenty, and thank you, JWT. Round of applause for the PWT universe. Fucking spectacular. And member shows rule, so welcome to the madness. Okay, guys, we have more Dave and John Cena to get to. Thank you for the support. So, moving along here, it's sort of scattered throughout here. It's how it's got to be. We have so much funny shit. Oh, this is a good show. So here we go. Where does Cena rank among the biggest stars since the year 2000? So 2000, you have to think as well. Stone Cold was a thing, but it was becoming like, not that it wasn't as big of a thing, but he took his ball shortly after. He was injured for a while too, I believe, right? Like 2002, he was like the GM, and then he was like half involved, and then he kind of just dipped out. 2003, 2004, I want to say, right? I'm no wrestling historian like Dave, but since the 2000s, like if you want to go 2000 on, like when was Stone Cold's peak? Would it have been like 97, 98, 99, like more in there? Or maybe even a little earlier than that? So 2000 and on, I mean, Cena's probably the guy. Like when did The Rock dip out too? Like, oh, I want to say like because he came back to do Hollywood Rock around like 03 and shit, no? Is my timeline off on that? Chat will let me know. But if you just want to go 2000 on, I mean, probably the biggest fucking star in the business. Like, I don't really think you could. He's the Hulk Hogan of that run. Now, yes, like Stone Cold would dip in and out. Rock would dip in and out a little bit. Goldberg would come back here and there, but you know, Cena's the guy.
Where would he be on this fictitious GOAT list if we only consider from 2000 and ahead?
Well, it depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at match quality, he's not anywhere close.
So match quality, he's not anywhere close to the best ever in 2000. That's why his matches fucking drew the most, and he's considered like Hulk Hogan. But Hulk Hogan wasn't a great worker either, Garrett.
Not that he didn't have good matches.
It's got to be like a combination of a few.
So in ring, Dave always does this. In ring, he's nowhere close. Not that he didn't have good matches. The fuck does that? Then what are you talking about?
Things, right?
Yeah. When it comes to being a star, you know, he's behind Dwayne.
In this from 2000 on, John Cena's behind Dewey. Behind Dwayne? Hold on. Like, yes, overall in like the world, but I don't know, dude. If we're talking just pro wrestling, that's the problem. Dave's got to break it down. He's got to be like, in terms of being a star, like globally and shit, or like Hollywood wise. But in wrestling, The Rock just came and went. And yes, when he showed up, he's the biggest. But then you could argue Brock Lesnar too. He would show up and it would melt brain. Is Brock more than Cena in pro wrestling? Maybe you could argue that, but I just think Cena like carried it. You know, he put the team on his back and he ran with it. And there's a reason when you say Mount Rushmore's, it's like, I don't know. From 2000 on, I think we can all agree it's Cena, right? Like maybe The Rock.
I guess Austin still was around after 2000,
but like a little bit. It wasn't.
Yeah, you know, I guess he was still peak at 2001. I guess if you throw in longevity, and Dwayne was not only around for a couple of years. I think if you put biggest star from 2000 on up, it's probably him. Thinking about it, because the other ones.
Well, at least he came to that conclusion after just definitively saying he's not a bigger star than Dewey. And then he just switched right there and said he is a bigger star than Dewey, I guess, in just wrestling. So
shorter run. I mean, Dwayne's the biggest. Dwayne turned out to be by far the biggest star of anyone. Batista was given the same chance and maybe even a better one than him. But Cena just kind of, I don't know, worked out better. And
also a little bit younger.
Yeah, that helped a little bit. Yeah, Batista was born in 69, Cena 77. So that 8 years, right?
Yeah, that's a significant thing, Dave. Yeah, I mean, a little bit. So, you know, they talk more about, I want to say, John Cena and retirement tour stuff. So here is Bryan Alvarez. And he just, again, the most vanilla fucking, after all those years, never give up. And then he just gave up. It's like, man. It's just such a cringe thing to say.
In fact, at the end of the day,
literally everybody made this joke or pun or had this take.
Gunther beat John Cena in his final match, which I guess really when you think about it is not that surprising, because I'm sure that John Cena probably wanted to lose on his way out.
I'm sure he did. They just didn't. You know, the difference is that he didn't have the Young Bucks and Tony Khan saying you're not doing it.
Oh my God, he fucking said it, bro.
Best guys, Tony Khan.
He fucking said it, dude. He didn't have the Bucks because, you know, the Bucks and Tony Khan told Sting, don't retire. This is how fucking ass backwards Dave is, right? He takes credit when Jeff Lane exposed that Tony Khan hit him up, and Dave said that Tony Khan hit him up in 2019 after a bad Dynamite review, and that Tony Khan said, "We're gonna start making better shows for you, Daddy Dave." And then what did Dave do? He responded to Jeff Lane and took credit for, look what happened since 2019, the biggest TV deal, whatever. Dave, they've fallen off a cliff since 2019. They've fallen off a cliff, and he's taking credit for it, bro. He even takes credit for things. Well, he doesn't really take credit for the running overtime, overlapping on the pay-per-view or whatever, but takes credit for pushing ideas to Tone. And then Dave gives credit to Tone and the Bucks telling Sting not to lose in his last match and give it to someone else, which that would have probably helped Darby, no? If he had to like do a heel turn, or maybe not even a heel turn, maybe just like a Sting goes like, hey dude, I raised you up until this point for one reason. What did you think it was going to be? You versus me, anything goes, you know? Like, this is why I've kept you by my side. Keep your enemies closer. Not even that. Just a friendly, they could have friendly whatever. He passes it to Darby. Would that not have done more for AEW than Sting just winning? It's just people who know Sting. Oh, come on, Phil. That's not very fair. It's just people who fucking know Sting in real life. Okay? And they go, oh, come on now, Eric. And they're the ones being like, oh, Sting's retirement was so finely booked. It really wasn't. It was interchangeable from all of his and Darby's bullshit ass matches, where it just really wasn't. He just buried half their roster. He fucking beat half their roster, who are all stuck around there ever since. And what's the state of AEW? They're coming back to the States, and they have 1,200 tickets sold. Guys, would it have helped if Sting maybe lost to Darby? I think it would have. Heat somebody up. MJF beating Sting. And everyone just, whoa, we hate your fucking guts. I think it would have did a lot more for AEW. Everything is, what's the word I'm looking for? Everything needs to be approached individually. Not every circumstance is the same, right? So if it was Cena versus Miz in the final, okay, Cena beats Miz, whatever, we all go home happy. Or, hey, dude, Gunther's going to be, we need heels. I pointed it out on the Memba show or the PWT live show. I can't remember which one this last week here. Yo, look at all the baby faces in WWE. Rhodes, Punk. You just had Cena there, but I guess we won't count him. But Rhodes, Punk, Roman, they forced him to be a babyface. You have Rey Mysterio. You even have guys like Dom, where I made this analogy. Dom is the guy you boo, but you see him on the streets and you want to take a picture with him and you buy his t-shirt and shit. You love to hate him. Gunther is the guy where if in DC he was walking to that bus alone, people would have ran up on him. For sure. For sure. It's different types of heat, right? So in WWE, they have Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, that the crowd's behind. When Jacob Fatu comes back, everyone loves him. Okay, you have so many fucking baby faces in this company. And you're running at Seth gets hurt. You're running out of heels, dude. You need to heat someone up big time. All these, even Drew right now, some people are like, well, he just kind of looks stupid with some of this booking. Okay, so you need to heat some guys up. Gunther is that guy. He's going to be facing all the baby faces and shit for the next how many years to come. You need a guy like that. AJ Styles is over as fuck. They have so many baby faces moving merch right now. You need some fucking heels. Orton is a baby face. How many big how many heels do they have that are big mega? You have Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, which people already complain about. And then you have fucking Logan Paul, I guess. They're all in the same faction, though. They're trying to heat Solo up again. Right? Who do you have as heels? Even the Wyatt Six gets fucking cheered. And they're like spooky demon guys that kind of do heel shit. They kind of just beat everyone up. You know what I mean? You need heels, dude. Owens is hurt. And even when the crowd saw him when they saw him in the crowd at Cena's final match, he got the biggest pop. And he was breaking guys' necks before he got hurt himself. So, like, does he come back as a heel? You know what I mean? There's so many heels they need, or baby faces that are just prime right now. They need some fucking heels with heat. They're heating up Theory. They're heating up Gunther. The Vision's got heat, and it's not just like, oh, well, Gunther already had heat. Yeah, stupid. Fucking JD McDonough has heat. We're talking about like heat, man. Gunther's got heat. We need to white hot heat someone up to fucking take on these like uber over baby faces we have. That's the idea, Bryan, right? So anyways, I explained that again. I know I explained it on the live show, but
I mean, that's what it was. I mean, it's a different, it's a different philosophy. I'll say this. When he lost, I thought that it was not what I would have done.
No,
I don't.
It's not even that he lost, but the end of the match was Gunther putting him in a choke, and he didn't go out. He gave up.
He tapped.
After all of those years, never give up, and all of that merchandise. At the end of the day, he gave up.
It's just such a cringe thing, and this is the one time I'm like, Dave, keep interrupting him, please.
In a million years, I wouldn't have done that finish.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I know, because you're just vanilla, bro. You wouldn't do any shock and awe fucking. And people tried to make that. You're just vanilla. You like only missionary position. Just beep, boop, beep, fucking robot responses. Cena, the time-honored tradition. All the legends shouldn't lose. All the legends win their last matches, bro. Ric Flair created a whole event to win his last match. Like, what are we talking about, dude? Hogan did the same shit. Like Undertaker won the Boneyard match. They made a whole ass match so this fucking guy could do some cinematic shit because he couldn't have a crazy ass match with AJ Styles. You know what I mean? Everybody fucking wins. DX went to Saudi and won. Like, come on, dude. Sting won. Goldberg went out. Respect. I give nothing but respect for the way Goldberg went out. I clowned him for the shit he said after. Cena fucking went out. All anyone could say is, oh, they should have gave him a speech. Oh, he gave up after saying don't give up. Yeah, stupid. Kobe Bryant said fucking you got to train the hardest, then you'll be the best. And then he still lost fucking NBA champions. He didn't win every fucking playoffs every season of his life. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking, what are you crying about?
Either, but you know what? Very emotional, very well done. Left his tennis shoes in the ring, left his wristbands in the ring and all that. There was like a bullshit chant for a little while. And then when Paul Levesque came out, they did boo him and did say, like, you fucked up. And
they blamed Hunter 100% for this.
Yeah, they did.
Which at the end of the day, it was John Cena's decision. Okay.
But
even if it was, Triple H could have said, no, you're actually not losing in your last match.
See, this is like the weird spin they do to try and be like, well, Tony Khan, Booker of the Year. I mean, it's just really simple. He booked better matches for the kayfabe, like the better matches with the more moves and I don't know how you justify it. Like, isn't pro wrestling, like, aren't we? It's like saying the writer of the year is the person who wrote this fucking like offshoot, whatever the fuck, when Vince Gilligan's new show Pluribus or whatever it's called is the most watched shit, or it's so stupid. I don't know. I don't like to make those analogies either, because other people compare like, oh, in Avengers, Tony Stark beat Thanos before he died and shit. It's like, well, it's not a movie. It's comic books. This is pro wrestling's comic books. It's an ongoing saga with a sacred timeline. Okay. It's not a movie. It's an ongoing canonical thing. It's the best way to break it down. So anyways, and then Brian Coping here, they chanted AEW. They booed Triple H every single time they showed him on the big screen. So just listen to this. They chanted AEW. No, like 5 people chanted AEW for a half a second. and then it was just cringe, so they didn't continue.
I think people are thinking that Triple H made a call and like John Cena maybe didn't want to do it or whatever. I mean, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, John Cena, I'm sure, wanted to lose,
Yeah.
but Triple H did not stop him. He did not say, no, I'm not going to let you do that.
At the end of the day, it was Paul's decision. And you know, if people are mad, you know, that's who you boo. You know, it's like when I watched the whole thing, when I watched it go down and everything, you know, if you watch the crowd, people didn't leave. They watched the video. They watched him leave. It was very emotional. I think they got what they came for. They didn't come for, at the end of the day, they didn't come for a win or a loss. And I think the announcers played up the Gunther win really well. I would not have done it. I don't think it's like, you know, I mean, I heard that there were chants, like, I guess when the post show, there were chants of AEW or something. So that's probably not the best thing in the world. But
they chanted for AEW.
Oh, they chanted for AEW, Bryan. I mean, not really, bro. It was like 4 people.
They chanted, "You fucked up" at Triple H. They booed him every single time they showed him on the big screen. Just booed this guy out of the building. Yeah. I mean, they were not happy with that decision. And Cena hears the chant of "fuck Triple H," and he actually gets up and he looks around and he goes, "I did it. I'm sorry." And of course, no one gives a shit what he says. They're mad at Hunter.
Or are you guys just mad at Hunter? Everybody cares what Cena has to say.
I think people are thinking
these are all the same people crying about Cena giving a fucking speech, but meanwhile, oh, they don't care what Cena has to say. They're just mad at Triple H. It's like, no, you guys are just mad at Triple H, dude. So here's Dave talking about the idea. This is the idea.
The idea, obviously, is he's leaving. Let's make a star out of Gunther. Let's make him a bigger star.
I swear, we already heard this bullshit. Listen, we know what the idea is. Let's make him a bigger star, Bryan. Like, okay. No shit. Dave always like says things that just don't need to. We all know that. That's the simple, easiest concept to fucking grasp in this whole thing. So then Wrestling Observer says Sting wanted to lose the AEW tag titles to the Bucks at Revolution last year on his way out, but Matt and Nick Jackson absolutely refused to win his retirement match. So exactly, this is why AEW is the state it's in.
Tony Khan.
They listen to the Bucks, who don't understand how to do this on a grand scale. Tony Khan, who doesn't understand how to do this on a grand scale. Dave Meltzer, who doesn't understand how to do this on a grand. This is who they're listening to. This is who they're listening to. Meanwhile, who have they pushed out? All the people, Jade Cargill, even larger than life character. Cody Rhodes, he wanted to do make a run like his daddy did. Right? CM Punk, a star that he could have went anywhere. He could have went to TNA. 1 million people would have tuned in to watch that shit. They fucking love CM Punk. CM Punk was getting chance. WWE, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? They were chanting for him for like a decade. You know? He got a rude awakening and was like, what the fuck, and had to get out of there. They pushed him out. It's not a goddamn coincidence, man. That's all I'll say. So more on this retirement show and Gunther and whatnot. Dave said even though they may say something different publicly, they were blindsided by the reaction they got. And this is, and then Bryan's like, because they're stupid. And it's like, so now their cope is, believe whatever you want, but they didn't know that they were going to get booed the way they did. They didn't know that Gunther was going to get booed and get white heat and fucking they were going to hate Gunther as much as they did. They thought Gunther was going to tap him and everyone would just stand up and applaud and be like, bravo, Gunther, bravo, Cena. Or do you think that Dave is him and Bryan are so fucking stupid and condescending, both of them, because they're stupid. You really think it didn't cross, like Paul Heyman is in the creative room. Him and Michael P.S. Hayes are sitting in there, whatever, and it didn't cross either of those guys' minds. Hey, we get booed out of the building for this one. You guys know that. Yeah, but it's good for Gunther. You don't think that these guys didn't have this conversation? Like they don't understand the pro wrestling fucking how this shit works? It's crazy.
The Gunther reaction was really impressive. You know, if you want to argue that the decision's the right decision, the reaction that he got tonight was a good argument because the people, like, he was really hated and he really played it up well. This is not anything that we can judge for 6 months or so. And if you know, and again, I don't jump to the conclusion that night. I mean, I would not have beaten John Cena. Okay, that doesn't make beating John Cena wrong. It's a decision.
True.
There are many people in WWE who did not agree with that decision, but the guy in charge did it. The one thing that I can say is that even though they may say something different publicly, they were blindsided by that reaction. They had
because they're stupid.
Yeah, no, the idea that, like, we knew, you know, we did it, we knew it was going to get heat, it's just the price we pay. You know, like when they're all chanting and he's going, I thought it would be louder. That was a defense mechanism. There was, I don't want to say there was no discussion of a reaction, but
how would Dave know if there was how would he know if there was a discussion? You know what I'm saying? He is balanced on this, though. At least he's not like totally based Meltzer, I guess.
I was told there was no discussion of a reaction.
Yeah. So, moving along here. I think we have a couple more. So Dave Meltzer actually rated this match 4.5 stars, which is insane. Also, I don't know if it's, maybe like a 4-star match, 4 or 5 stars, just because of the emotional and like the crowd was white hot, the enormity of the event. Maybe I could say, because usually I think Meltzer gives too high of stars on everything, but this makes sense. You know, this is like, okay, if you want to take sheer enormity of the event, the reaction, everything factored in, 4.5. I'm okay with that. Meltzer talked more about this event, though, and he talks about retirement tour. Let's get to this. So Dave talks about like who's doing the next retirement tour.
You wrote in the Observer about the possibility of more retirements in pro wrestling next year.
If Jericho comes, that they'll do, you know, Jericho, AJ Styles, and Brock Lesnar retirements in 2026. And, you know, I didn't really, you know, write it or think about it or anything. And then, you know, a story came out that they're looking at SummerSlam to be Lesnar's retirement. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I just basically said, I don't know if that date is accurate, but I do know the idea of Lesnar retiring in 2026 is not far-fetched. You know, it is absolutely something that was on the docket for this year, you know, anything that far away. I mean, he hasn't verbally committed, you know.
They're just all hung up on this like retirement tour.
Committed to it in, you know, or publicized it. Unlike AJ, who has been pretty clear he is retiring this year.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I mean, there's absolutely been the idea that this is Lesnar's farewell tour. So
why? How this has absolutely been the he says absolutely, like he's in the fucking creative meeting.
You know, he's going to do his last series of matches, and it would end at some point this year. But that could change. I mean, Brock is, you know, I mean, management likes him. They think he's a draw. They've catered to him forever, and he still looks.
They think he's a draw.
The part, and it's really just his. It's going to be his decision.
It's going to be Brock's decision, exactly. I don't know. It's just when he says shit like absolutely. And I said SNME has been the ultimate wrestling observer destroyer. Cena versus Gunther is last. The show likely ending within the 2-hour window. It went a little over. I'll give them that. And the theme song is by Quavo. So I pointed that out as well, which I thought was funny. But Dave had some more comments on like the Obafemi thing. He won't give it up. I'm looking for it here. I'm scrolling around. He won't give it up that he said that Obafemi here. So there was a match order in place where Rhodes versus Obafemi was listed as the last match. That would have been a huge mistake. Well, they didn't do that, and I feel like they just made that up. Bryan and Dave made that up, and they're like, or they got told faulty information from someone in WWE, and they were like, they're just going to run with this story still that Oba and Rhodes were supposed to go on last. I don't believe that. I don't think that was ever supposed to happen, and they just got worked. And now they're like, oh, that would have been a mistake. It's like, what? So in more of the SNME, and then we can move on to like other more recent topical stuff here. But where is it? Dave Meltzer talked about, I think that might have been it actually, just the Obafemi thing, and how he still maintains that Rhodes and Oba were supposed to go on last or whatever. Yeah, I think that was it. So speaking of star ratings, we talked about some star ratings, and he gave Ilya Dragunov versus Tommaso Ciampa on SmackDown a 4.5 stars. So rated the same as John Cena's final fucking
The best
match.
guys, Tony Khan.
Like how? How does that even happen? Here's some star ratings from the week. Pac versus Fletcher, 4.5 stars. Takeshita versus Claudio, 4.5 stars. Bailey versus Knight, 4.5 stars. So all of these matches are just the exact same. Cookie cutter, this is what you do, and Dave will give you 4.5 stars. The Elite versus DCF, 4.5. TMDK versus Tsuchi Gabe, 4.5. Mystico versus Sobrano Jr., 4.5. Moxley versus Strong, 4.25. Briscoe versus Garcia, 4.25. FTR versus Bang Bang Gang, 4.25. So Dave is just loving this. Oh, such great wrestling. It's just so good. Orange versus Dorada, 3.75. Swerve versus Alexander, 3.75. It's just fucking insane, dude. It's egregious, these star ratings. Like, I don't care. Both companies, it's completely trash. You know what I mean? And so Dave Meltzer, he talks about the 2025 Wrestling Observer End of the Year Awards. Okay, so let's take a listen.
Observer Awards. Yeah, I think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be a great year for WWE. Like last year, it was kind of split with WWE, New Japan, and AEW. I think they all won many positive awards. This year, I don't see categories like maybe best on interviews. I could see someone from WWE winning that, but I don't.
Someone from WWE winning best interviews? Like what? What are you talking about? Like Jackie Redmond? What the fuck are you talking about?
Think they're going to get promotion of the year. I don't think they're going to get Booker of the year like last year. I don't think they're going to get Wrestler of the year like last year. They're definitely not going to get Most Outstanding.
They're definitely not going to get Most Outstanding. Why? Why would they not get Most Outstanding? There's no match more outstanding than John Cena versus AJ Styles, right? Like, I'm sorry.
Tag Team of the year? No team there should get that. A lot of the awards probably should go to CMLL, but I don't know that they will. CMLL has never won. Like Mystico did win Wrestler of the Year in, I think it was 2006, which is kind of an incredible story anyway, because there's never been a situation, if he wins this year, where, a guy won it 19 years after the first time he won it. That's, something. But so there is a precedent for a Mexican to win Match of the Year, although I think an AEW match won Match of the Year. I'm just not sure which one.
Just not sure which one. So that is, I don't know, dude. Again, it's all subjective. What am I going to argue with Dave? The match of the year for sure was in CMLL, and the fucking, like, he's just talking out of his ass here. I think the best matches are, it's like the old thing, like if a tree fucking falls in a forest and no one's there to see it, right? compared to some like Cena versus AJ Styles, like what more could you want? Two legends at their peak paying homage to themselves and other people and take you on this roller coaster and all this shit. I mean, that's what wrestling's about. It's about entertaining motherfuckers, and the most motherfuckers were entertained by the World Wrestling Federation, dude. That's all I can, like, I don't know what they definitely won't get Booker, and they're using all this recency bias. Like, dude, Tony Khan's booking for 1,000 people in each town he goes to. That has to be the worst booker, you know? Like, if you're comparing them,
Observer
it has to
Awards.
be.
Yeah,
Doesn't fucking make sense otherwise. So, let's go down here for a second. What's chat saying for a minute? StreamYard being glitchy. Gotta love it. So, okay, let's move along here. So Dave Meltzer, he talks about AEW, and I got this DM, a couple DMs from someone, okay? And they wrote this to me. They said, AEW Dynamite rating talk on Wrestling Observer Radio. Out of 512K viewers, 105 to 115K viewers were between 50 to 54 years old. Their 18 to 49 demo wasn't good, but their 25 to 54 demo was great because it included those people. LOL, we know what their new fave demo, to quote, will be. And it has been. It has been, dude. And 56-minute mark email question. Do you think Javon Evans would have a higher ceiling in AEW than WWE? Dave says yes. Like, I can't. I just can't believe it.
It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
So shout out whoever sent me that Dave stuff there. And here's Dave talking about Javon right here. And he comments on this. This is the clip. So I got DM'd that, and then obviously Dave made it into a clip, which made it even better.
From ladder match, do you think Javon Evans would have a higher ceiling in AEW? Theoretically, he should be a top guy in WWE, but I don't think they would push him past the mid card.
Yes. I think that he would have a higher ceiling in AEW. I think he could be world champion in AEW. I don't know if that's going to happen in WWE. There's benefits of WWE. You know, obviously you can become a bigger star.
So this is what I don't get. You can become a bigger star in WWE. So then how is the ceiling higher for if he were to go to AEW? Idiot. As I bumblefuck over my words because it's such a goddamn stupid thing to even say. If you can become a bigger star in WWE, then that means the ceiling's higher. Period. Or else Dave is trying to say in AEW, Tony will pay him, and like Ricochet, he'll just fucking give him everything because he does flips, and that's the style Tony Khan likes, and he's a money mark. So just if he wants to go take the millions right now instead of waiting for it and having a legacy. And other wrestlers now admitting, Andrade admitting that when he left AEW the first time, he turned down. Tony gave him a big raise. He turned down like 2 or 3 times the money to go back to WWE, only to end up back in AEW, probably getting paid more than he was in WWE again, because Tony's a money mark. That's called a money mark. And also, I'm pretty sure like Javon wrestled on Collision or Ring of Honor or Dark or one of these shits. So it's like, Dave, no, Tony doesn't know how to book young talent. He just looks at them as like, oh, you're another flippy guy. The ceiling's way higher in WWE just based off what Dave said, but he's going to cope, spurg, and flip-flop around to try and make sense of something that doesn't make any sense.
WWE. Javon's special. And he's got special charisma. So he's a guy actually that they should, you know, I mean, I'm sure that they're going to lock him up for 100 years in WWE, and they should. But he is a guy who I think that would be a guy that if I was like Tony Khan, that I would certainly get the word out that like, dude, you know, you want to be world champion, and you want to have the best matches of your life.
He wouldn't make him world champion, stupid. Tony doesn't make anyone world champion. He doesn't make anyone new. And the only reason Tony would make him a world champion now, if he did, is because of what he's doing in WWE. Again, what was Javon Evans' name on the Indies? It was like Malachi or something. Am I wrong about that? Whatever. You had him in your Fed. Tony had him and let him go. So, I don't know, man.
If that's what your goal is, you can achieve it here, not there. And
he's just flat out saying he won't be world champion in WWE. You can achieve it in AEW, not there. Dave, how many people have achieved becoming world champion in AEW? It's the same fucking people. The same 3-4 people have the fucking title.
And there's probably some truth to that one.
There's no truth to that one. You just made it up, and you're a cuck. Speaking of being a cuck and AEW's booking and whatnot, here's what Meltzer, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I'm just talking shit. That's what I do. So Meltzer said what, just posted a funny clip. I guess at the very least, he's been dead for a long time. I don't even know what this is. I just got DM'd this and I'm like, I got to bookmark it for the show. I didn't even listen to it.
How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez and Dave Meltzer here, Wrestling Observer Radio, December 15, 2025, figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. We got a lot of things to get into here today, including a bunch of deaths to talk about, a bunch of injuries to talk about. A lot of not good news here today, but it is the anniversary of Ricky Dozan's death. I guess at the very least, he's been dead for a long time. Well, it's not a new...
What? I don't even mean to laugh, but like, Brian, what? Oh my God. Crazy.
one. I mean, we got Rob Reiner, Solomon Grundy. We got injuries, JD, Bobby Lashley, Layla Gray. It's like, it's all bad news.
Well, Gunther got a big reaction tonight.
Anyway.
He got a big reaction, which proved wrong all of our melting down over the last 2 days. But anyways.
Anniversary of the death of Ricky Dozan, one of the most famous wrestlers of all time.
Yeah. No, it's funny because somebody wrote that the most important wrestler of all time was John Cena, and
well, that's not true.
I think that was the Masked Man, and I just like, you've got to be shit.
Austin Theory?
No, different Masked Man.
Oh my God, these two are so lame. Who the fuck listens to this garbage? This is so boring. And even when at first I was going to put it over and I was going to be like, man, this is what Dave should be doing more of, like talking about like the history of fucking pro wrestling and whatever. And then immediately Dave flips it to, well, someone on Twitter said this thing that I disagreed with, Brian. You're 108 years old, Dave. Stop. Don't worry about Twitter, bro.
It's like you've got to be kidding me. It's like the most important wrestler of all time, and it's like,
yeah, it's like some millennial, Dave. It's just some millennial writing a fucking article. Who gives a shit?
I actually would probably say Frank Gotch, but Ricky Dozan's maybe a close second.
Okay, and fucking Hacksaw Jim Duggan will tell you Hulk Hogan was. What are we talking about here, you fucking old fart? Give some history shit on Ricky Dozan.
And you could argue,
or say, listen, and he's just got to shut down WWE. That's all it is. He's got to shit on WWE, bro. Just say John Cena was tremendously important, but I mean, even a Ricky Dozan, if you looked at that era in time, he could. There's a way Dave could do this and get over with everybody, and I'd be like listening to the history and shit. I'd be like, word, this is, fucking Dave's got it on point. But instead, he's just got to like take a shot at Twitter people he disagrees with and WWE to make a point about Ricky Dozan. It's so fucking autistic. Moving along here. So speaking of Dave being a wrestling historian, Dave goes, that was in fact an unplanned title change. Speaking of the Thea Hale, Blake Monroe situation, where Blake Monroe recently on NXT, she ate a fucking not a diving, like a running senton or whatever, like Bray Wyatt would do that shit. And, she didn't kick out in time. And I think she got for real fucked up a little bit by that move. But we'll discuss it on PWT live show tomorrow. But Dave Meltzer says, that the title change was in fact an unplanned title change. I can't think of the last time that happened. And it's just a funny, like, Dave's so condescending to everyone. And I go, a wrestling historian. But it's just funny because everyone can think of when it happened. I'm surprised he didn't use it as a chance to bring up AEW when, like, Ray Phoenix won the title for Mox by accident or whatever. So speaking of this botch, Bryan Alvarez uses it as a chance to, like, pat himself on the back or put himself over. I don't know. Bryan just doesn't have a grasp on what NXT is supposed to be anymore. Like, it's not just developmental. It is. There's an element of that, but at the same time, it's just its own brand with, like, characters that you're into. And you do get called up, but essentially, like, you have Evolve and the ID program, and that's where we're looking at, like, the 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds winning titles and shit, Zeta Steel. And if Bryan has a problem with this, take it up with Tony Khan, who has Zeta Steel doing jobs in Ring of Honor right now. He didn't put titles on Billy Starks. Billy Starks didn't win the women's fucking title. You know what I'm saying? So Bryan just doesn't keep the same energy for shit. He just picks and chooses his faux outrage. And so he's going to take this weird angle on the Thea Hale, Blake Monroe title change, which, how the fuck old is Blake Monroe? Blake Monroe age 27. So she's 27. That's young as fuck. So he's going to, like, try and take a dub. Oh, a 27-year-old dropped the title to a 22-year-old, and they're finally putting titles on 20-year-olds. The fuck you talking about, Bryan?
We finally got a championship belt on someone who was only 22 years old in NXT, and it took a botch to get us there. Thea hits a springboard senton off the ropes, squishes Blake Monroe. The ref counts 1. The ref counts 2. The ref, like, he holds up for, like, the most split seconds because, like, she's not lifting her shoulder, and he counts 3. Blake's been pinned.
I love how I love how Bryan, like, knows what the ref was thinking. He just counted a normal 1, 2, 3, and she didn't kick out in time. Pretty simple.
You do not need to be hit in the head to have a concussion. You can be concussed from your organs being rattled, despite being probably 100 pounds. She put about 1,000 pounds of force into that senton.
The entire building went crazy for her, and they're cheering, and and she's running around like a maniac. I was watching this going,
yeah, Blake got fucked up from that senton.
She's more over right now than she's ever been. And she didn't get over like this because she, like, lost a bunch of matches, whatever their stupid plan was. She won, and she got over, because the easiest way to actually get a person over is to win. But we've forgotten how to do that. Now, if we want to get you over, we got to beat you and beat you and beat you. That's what's going to actually get you over. That's what they think. But we just...
Well, okay, Bryan, but this was an accident, right? So that's not what they didn't think to do this. So, like, what are you even arguing right now? Am I misunderstanding what he's doing? Oh, they're going to beat you and beat you and beat you. That's what'll get you over. Oh, fuck. This was an accident, though, so they didn't mean to beat her.
Saw it with her own eyes. She won a match she wasn't supposed to win, and in winning, the entire place just, like, went absolutely crazy. I'm sure they're...
Yeah, it's because they didn't expect it, just like the Cena tap out. Get it? You got to try and make... Here's the thing with marks and everyone being a smark now. You have to surprise us. You have to shock and awe us. Do you know what I mean? You gotta fucking... you gotta surprise us, bruv. We've seen it all already. We've seen it all already. Art, everything's been done. Every movie you see is, you can compare it to something, because that's what the art part is. Like, you take... Everybody has a little of what inspired them, and then they, do their own thing with it. And it's like... The only way to get over with wrestling fans now is shock and awe. And that's why the Cena thing was the right decision, and that's why this shocked everybody and everyone was talking about it, right? Now, I believe this really was a botch. I know, like, I think JJ was on the show and saying, oh, it could be a work. And I was like, damn, they sold it really well. But again, like I said on PWT Live Show, I attribute that to them being like consummate professionals. You know what I mean? But it's fun to mark out and fantasy theorize. Maybe they did it on purpose. You know, I'll entertain that. It's fun. But at the same time, like, I don't know what Bryan is like. He's trying to now spin it to be a W for his shit takes before. I don't know. It's all good.
Already trying to figure out how to get the belt off her, you know, because that's what they do. But this business is so messed up.
Oh, they're already trying to figure out how to get the belt off her because that's what they do. Really, Bryan? Because you were also told that Rhodes and whatever the fuck and Oba were going to open or was going to close Cena's final match or whatever. So how do we know they're even working? Maybe they're working a way to just go, Blake's going to the main title now or some shit. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, maybe they're like, fuck it. Let's run with this opportunity. Let's get Thea up now. And I don't know. Or maybe they are trying to get the title offer. You could do it. It's not like it hurts Thea any. So I don't know. I don't know why Bryan, he's like, again, it's just him trying to get a W over NXT, but this is why people clown him. He doesn't understand. So moving along here. We're told as of late, so we just destroyed Dave Meltzer here right before I jumped on the air. It's fucking hilarious. We got a WWE own over Dave. Actually, let's read this one first. So, because I skipped over this by accident. Dave Meltzer's thoughts on WWE main roster versus NXT exhibition matches at SNME. He says, except Bryan, those matches, it just felt like they were not serious matches. They were just kind of there. Yeah, they were called their exhibition matches, Dave. Sports based. You can see they're behind Sol Ruka. They're behind all of them, even Javon and Slater, even though they lost quick. It's very clear they see them as big stars. So then how would the ceiling be higher in AEW to win this kayfabe belt? No one cares. So Dave Meltzer, this story comes out, right? I don't even know why I clicked on that. But this story comes out today where report WWE telling TNA and AEW talent they're not currently hiring new people, right? And this is the direct quote. So this is Dave Meltzer. Bryan, Hechicero, except we were told that of late. Talent, from both TNA and AEW who have called WWE, except like it's have been told that they aren't looking at hiring new people, Bryan. The idea is that they have so many in developmental, many of whom are ready, except they don't need new people, PWG. This is not an absolute, except, and obviously, guys, the level of Jericho or Slater. So like Leon Slater, the level he put Jericho on the same level as Slater to try. This is what I mean. He starts talking out of his ass, and then to justify it, he just like says mush mouth. This is why he's mush mouth Meltzer on top of the ums and ahs. It's because of that. Like, what do you mean Slater and Jericho on the same level? Idiot. Doesn't even make sense. Oh my God. This is not an absolute. Wouldn't necessarily so like Jericho or Slater wouldn't fall into that category, right? So he's basically saying if you have a name, so what Dave's trying to say is if you have a name or have been featured on their programming on Cena's last match, they will have interest in you, but otherwise they're not looking to hire just regular, degular, schmegular, whoever's, right? All of a sudden, bodyslam.net 2 hours ago. Report, WWE offers contracts to current IWGP Tag Team Champions.
Learn, baby, learn. Meltzer Inferno.
I love it.
Oh, my God. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I love it. So according to Elbu of Self-Made, which we're going to get into because Dave and Elbu glaze each other all the time. And according to Elbu, though, WWE's offered contracts to the current IWGP Tag Team Champions. So it's just hilarious how this happens, right? And the current IWGP Tag Team Champions are the Knockout Brothers, Oscar and Yudo Ice. And they offered them a fucking contracts here that I'm pretty sure a bunch of New Japan guys deals are up in like January. So I'm assuming we'll see Gabe Kidd like leave for AEW full time probably then. But yeah, this came out the day of, and then Elbu just owns fucking Dave unintentionally. I bet he hit him up and was like, "Sorry, bro." And here's Elbu and Dave just glazing each other. And it's funny because like these guys block people like me, or they ignore Nicolo Piccolo, and they just fucking block everyone and shit, and then exist in this their own little bubble of glaze bubble. And I just don't understand why they think that's conducive or is going to make them look as though they have the right opinion on any of this shit, you know? But Elbu goes, most year-end awards that cover every promotion are going to skew away from WWE this year because they had their weakest year of the current regime. It's that simple. Okay? There's rarely a conspiracy to it. WWE was cleaning up during award season the previous 2 years because their product was stronger, more effective, and it was coupled with historic business dominance. So they didn't dominate the business this year. And again, I'm not trying to put words in mouths, but like, what are you saying? Like, you can't just say that. WWE was cleaning up during award seasons the last 2 years because their product was stronger. Like it's cocaine. Shut up. Their shows are still stronger than AEW's. That's all we're talking about. They're so good that we have to melt down, even if they do one thing that's perceived bad. It's like, oh, let's just ream on for a week how bad this one thing was. That means everyone cares about it more than anything else. I just don't understand why people don't understand this. They still had the stronger product. For all these, wrestling is subjective. It's all these fucking redacts. The product has just been terrible lately. The product. Shut the fuck up. Historic business dominance. They're still historically dominating the fucking business. So this is what Dave quote tweeted Elbu and said, okay? He goes, also, there are no historical comparables to CMLL's 2025, nor AEW's string of pay-per-view shows in 2025. There's no historical comparables to AEW's string of pay-per-views that Dave lies about the numbers being inflated. And we can prove Dave wrong. If Dave ever wants to call me out and challenge me on this.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Let's do it, buddy. We'll use the Google Trends that Dave uses for UFC events, but not when it comes to AEW and WWE, but for UFC, he'll use Google Trends. I'll use those, the Google and YouTube Trends, and we'll compare that, and then we'll look at the numbers of what HBO Max does viewer-wise, and then we'll compare how there's no proof of your 30% from Amazon that you just invented, and how all these pay-per-views that he keeps saying are doing better than the last ones are trending lower than the last ones. We can just point to the hard data, okay? I don't even do this shit, and I would challenge Dave to that duel because I'll pwn his ass on that front. He invents the pay-per-view numbers because he can get away with that to this day. No one knows his fucking what his source is on people just take him at face value because he's the only guy who's still tracked pay-per-views after pay-per-views has become like a dead thing. So he goes, this was a much better year for wrestling in general, even if WWE was better in 24. Okay, but according to the TV ratings, the big panel, Nielsen plus, blah, 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 data, blah, 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 apparently it's worse for every show, for every wrestling show. Apparently it's fucking, the numbers are doing worse overall for wrestling. So which is it? Dave wants to say it's wrestling. It's been better overall, even though WWE's been shit and AEW's doing lower numbers year over year, attendance, ratings, everything. And the big Nielsen data, Planel Plus, has been worse. I just don't get how you just flip flop around and say this shit and glaze each other's bumholes like this. It's fucking weirdo shit, dude. It really, really is, man. So, speaking of the TV deals and shit, the WBD declined the offer by Paramount. They're intending to go with Netflix. Now, again, Dave doesn't know shit about this stuff. Right? Not many of us do. I tell you guys, all you can do, I would read Niccolo Piccolo's tweets. I'd maybe listen to Bischoff a little bit on this shit. He's been in the TV space. He sold a show or two, right? I would listen to guys who have been in the TV. Dave doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, but either way, he talks about that the Paramount deal would be better for AEW than a Netflix deal. Why? Why would it be? They all wouldn't want to be in business with them in comparison to like TKO and AEW and shit. At least that WWE and shit. That's the way I view it. And I know people want to pretend that like, UFC and TKO and WWE, it's not all the same thing, but it is at the end of the day, dude. Like they're all wheeling and dealing and running and gunning together. So let's see what Dave has to say on what would be better for AEW in the TV biz.
Warner Brothers Discovery Board declined the offer by Paramount and Skydance. And so at this point, they are intending to go with Netflix.
A Paramount deal would be better for AEW for sure than a Netflix deal. But, if the wrong person's in charge, that's not necessarily the case. So that's just something that they're going to deal with. Like with Netflix, I mean, they say that they're going to keep HBO Max separate as part of the deal, which, again,
did they say that? Did they Netflix? So Dave could be full of shit, but did Netflix say we're going to keep HBO Max and it'll just be its own thing? I fucking maybe Netflix will give people the option of, yeah, you can just get HBO if you just want the HBO shit. But I highly doubt we go too long without there just being like an HBO section on Netflix or like here's HBO favorites on Netflix. There's no way they don't just present it that way eventually. No? That's what they've done with everything else, man.
AEW is part of HBO Max, then
they already I was having a laugh. I was having a goof at like the banner for like Elle and Harry Potter. Like, because it's so funny. We just live in the funniest timeline. But they're doing it, man. They're doing WWE Stranger Things crossovers. Like, that's fucking massive. For people going like, oh, Netflix is mad about the WWE deal. I don't know, buddies. Are they? Like, seems like they're putting a lot into WWE for a reason.
Then it should be fine. As far as the streaming side, the TV networks, Netflix does not want. So they're going to have to go on their own or sell to somebody else. And that creates minor complications because there's no synergy there. Like right now it's for AEW, it's all in one basket. It's like the TV stations, the TV shows, the streaming, they're all under the same basket, and the pay-per-views are all under the same basket.
Right. That's been the mistake that everybody's been trying to point out. Like, why'd you get rid of your YouTube shows? You have no YouTube presence other than when that was like a strong point for AEW, man. And it's just things like that I think as a fan, you look at and you're like, yeah, it's all, they just put so many eggs in one basket. And then when it gets shaky, Netflix could just walk in and be like, we don't want anything to do with this AEW stuff. That's gone. And then it doesn't matter what they do with TNT or TBS or any of the other shit. They could just look at that alone and go, yeah, we're not in that business. And people are like, that couldn't happen. How do you fucking know that wouldn't happen? That's literally what happened to WCW.
Basket. If this deal goes through with Netflix and they stay on HBO Max, then you've got the pay-per-views and the streaming rights in a different company than the TV rights.
Dave trying to make sense of this shit. It's so cute. So let's see what else, if Dave has any other yeah, so he talks about the top 10 on cable. And bro, this is Vince Russo and Jeff Lane. Shout out Vince Russo, bro, and Jeff Lane, the brand, bro. I invented the Wrestling Observer, bro. Let's take a listen to their take on Dave Meltzer's take on cable. It's a podcast, watching a podcast, watching a podcast.
This is what they fail to ever discuss. I know we've discussed this before. It's like having the best stand at the flea market.
Yeah.
All the best television shows are not on cable anymore. They're on streaming services.
Right. And boom. Thank you, Jeff, for saying that. Because it's like, and this is what I've been trying to say for a long time. We play the 18 to 49 in the TV rating because, I mean, it's what Dave wants to play. And it's the only thing we can like measure and know for sure. I thought streaming's where it's at. Now people going, they're mad at the streaming. Netflix is never mad that 2 million people tune into fucking Raw every show or whatever. They're not mad at that. Well, SmackDown's doing whatever. WWE, we just talked about this. They have their fingerprint everywhere. So for WWE, it's about a YouTube remember, everyone's like, Fox is mad at WWE. Well, they just Fox Espanol or whatever it is, Fox Sports picked up AAA. So it's like, you know, they want to be on they want to have something with Disney, NBC, fucking Paramount, Netflix. What? They want to have something on everything. And they want to have a TikTok thing, a Twitter thing, a Facebook thing, a fucking here's our presence on Instagram. That's what the name of the game is. So Tony's trying to like artificially stack all of his chips on fucking TBS, and we're on TBS because he's a mark for that shit. Like, he's not even really playing the game, and people are just trying to point that out. And he's got Dave here defending it. And it's just led him astray, man, unfortunately.
So these numbers he's comparing them with is they are the best of the shit that's left on cable. They are. And they never address this, the quality of their competition. It's all just shit. So they're the best of the shit. This is what they fail.
Yeah. And it's just not the way people want to consume wrestling, I don't think, on the masses. Yes, you have your fucking hundreds. There are hundreds of thousands. Everything's a niche. Okay? You have your hundreds of thousands of fucking people who that's how they want to consume their wrestling. But overall, I just, it's again, man, it's just what CM Punk said. Like, I don't know what they're doing there. They're not trying to run a business, though. They're not trying to like do gates and do what I was taught pro wrestling was. Well, maybe pro wrestling's just this art form, man. Okay, then I don't want to hear about key demos and fucking pay-per-views and shit. It's just that simple. Like, then stop calling it a product. Oh, their product. Then stop calling it that. Call it the artistic expression show, and then stop crying about fucking TV ratings or bringing them up. Or using them to cope then, because it's not about that for you, right? It's pretty simple, but I don't know. So speaking of pretty simple, Dave and Bry, they argue over, actually, no, let's touch this, the last couple WWE things here. So Dave Meltzer has some advice for WWE's Mark Shapiro, who he says is behind the times. Just imagine the heights that TKO group could reach if they replaced Mark Shapiro with their ear to the ground like Dynamite Dave. Dave is telling people that they are behind the fucking times, dude. That's where we're at. This is how you know it's coach. Dave is a dinosaur.
What did you think about Shapiro saying that he would love to see UFC content on TNT?
That was interesting.
I was wondering if he was being honest or if he was trying to be
I think he was just
a
trying
good partner.
I think he was just trying to what's the word I'm looking for? You know, he was trying to be a good partner for Paramount. Paramount gets it.
They have no idea. These two chuckle fuck redacts have no idea what they're talking about. None. Zero.
Willing to
this is crazy. I didn't listen to this
work there. I actually think that he's probably behind the times, because
Dave projects. You could not project harder if you were working at a drive-through movie theater. Am I right? Fucking a drive-through. I called it too. I meant drive-in. Dummy.
Are you sure about that?
Fucking terrible hacky joke. Listen, you couldn't project harder if you were a high school projector in the 90s, dude. No. Listen, man, this guy he hears people calling him behind the times and out of touch and dinosaur Dave Meltzer. So now he's going to just project that onto other folks. It's what Dave does.
Sense of, you know, the idea of, because he said, didn't he say HBO or TNT, right? He said both of them, right?
Yeah.
In the quote, because HBO years ago, of course, was the prestige network for boxing, right? So there was a period where, you know, before they dropped all that stuff, where, you know, like when, not that many years ago, but many years ago now, where the prestige, oh, of course, yeah, I'd love to be able to get, you know, UFC on HBO.
There is no more HBO Sports, though. It's gone.
Right. That's why I think that it's like, as much as like Nick Khan is so.
So what the fuck is... So Dave is saying that they're behind the times for wanting to be on HBO Sport boxing or whatever. What the fuck is Dave talking about, man? The guy asked about TNT Sports, Dave. He's just reaching so fucking hard here.
Up to date and ahead of the curve on everything. I think that Shapiro was actually talking from, you know, he's an older guy like me, you know, and maybe not paying, maybe his ear's not to the ground and going like, oh yeah.
And Dave's ear is to the ground.
TNT, Prestige Sports, HBO.
Has the bananas mushed in his face.
Prestige Sports, getting UFC on those things, that's like a gold standard thing. Whereas today.
UFC on TNT's the gold standard thing? Bro, are you talking about HBO Sports? Is Dave saying that HBO Sports is TNT Sport? What the fuck are you talking about? Well, it's all owned by the same thing. Yeah, and that's why, like, bro, having a sport on ESPN isn't the same thing as, oh, here's a sport on Disney Plus or ABC Family. You know, like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm sorry. This one shouldn't make me as mad as it does, but like, what are you even fucking babbling about? All he's trying to do is call someone else behind the times because that's the criticism levied against him. So now he's just projecting like he does.
You know, HBO, I mean, you know, like HBO Sports doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
And TNT, it's like,
and,
you know,
and someone pointed out in chat and that UFC is on TNT. In the UK, it's on TNT Sports already. WWE, I think, had something with them over there too. That's the thing, man. Yeah, Dave, he's just talking out of his ass. This one irked me. Okay, whatever. He's just talking out of his ass.
5 years ago when AEW first went on it, where, you know, like just being on TNT in prime time, you're guaranteed a certain audience. You're not guaranteed nothing. Some of those movies and everything that they do, I mean, like literally, like, you know, the stuff that's before Collision on Saturday nights and everything, like nobody watches. It's like, and you know, TNT, it's like, you know, how many hit shows are on TNT? Very, very few. You know, it's like, yeah, the sports do pretty well. AEW does pretty.
AEW does pretty well.
AEW does pretty well. You know, TBS the same way. AEW was the top-rated show on TBS many, many weeks before they changed the rating service. The rating.
Oh my god.
Way they did ratings.
Yeah, it's the top on TNT, but it's all shit. You're just talking about how it's all shit and they're on a shit network. And just like Jeff Lane said, they're the shit doing the best out of all the shit on that network. So who gives a fuck?
You know, unless there was like a big sporting event, or occasionally there was God, one of the comedy, you know, not like one of the cartoon animated shows, I think.
Oh my God, Dave! Oh, one of the cartoons.
Maybe Family Guy or something.
Maybe Family Guy or something. Oh God.
Real well, but generally speaking, like those TBS Dynamite numbers were higher than anything on the station. Many weeks, probably most weeks. So it's like, it's not like, again, like when.
So like it's not like, again, like when just say it already.
AEW went on there in 2019, where they got on, like, that was a prestigious place to be, and it really made the company. Let's face it. If they were to start now, like TNA starting on AMC, it ain't the same thing.
TNA starting on AMC. Whoa, this guy lives in a. Whoa, buddy. TNT starting on AMC. Or what is he trying to say? Or TNA, pardon me. So is he trying to say if AEW started on AMC? Or is he like, he's not making sense of his sentences here. He's not separating. All these fucking ideas get mushed together in his brain. That's why it's Mush Brain Meltzer and Mushmouth Meltzer. Meltzer, are you trying to say that TNA is starting on AMC? Like, he's so cooked, man. The wires are just crossing. There's holes in his brain. Ideas are fucking jumping holes and then landing on different connectors, and he's just fucking
close. The value of going on to AMC as compared to what like what AEW got in 2019. But what AEW has in 2026, just with being on TNT and TBS, that doesn't mean anything compared to what it meant in 2019.
John Oran gave Mark Shapiro his Sports Media Person of the Year award or whatever, and I almost sent him an email to say I wonder if it should just be a combined, like, with Nick Khan. Like, Nick Khan's got to be a part of that, but I didn't bother with it.
It's crazy how he gets asked about Mark Shapiro and WWE on TNT Sport, and then all Dave can do is spurg out about AEW and talk about how it's so prestigious that AEW got on TNT. But maybe this guy's behind the times, but I'm just going to bury the shit that AEW's on. And he's too dumb to realize when he's like shitting on certain things that he thinks he's getting over. He thinks he's like putting AEW over by saying, well, when they got on it, they're just trying to copy AEW. Like, I swear, he's so fucking cooked.
Nick Khan's got to be Nick Khan.
And then Garrett's like, yeah, so about Nick Khan and Mark Shapiro to talk about what I asked you about.
Got to be a part of it.
Fuck, man.
You can't take that away from him. Nick Khan is like, I'll tell you what, you probably couldn't do it, but there's a book there. You know what I mean? There's like, you have to open up to you, and you'd have to be able to talk to all these people that probably won't open up. But he's a smooth operator. It's like, yes. One of Vince McMahon's greatest hires.
Yeah, I was, like, yes. What? You what? What were you trying to say? What was that sentence? Huh?
Maybe his best hire of his entire life was Nick Khan, and the irony, of
Dave, that's embarrassing. I'm like douche chilling out over here. That's legit embarrassing. So we got a few left here, folks. Speaking of, here, I got another super chat here. Actually, let me check. We got a few more juicy stories here. Making good time too. We crushed it. I have a couple super chats here. Plenty and Pixar for 20. Holy fucking shit. Oh my goodness. Plinian, thank you. Round of applause, everybody. Put those puns away. We're wrestling fans. We can't grapple with that kind of humor. I'm overhead now. Get it? Oh, shit, dude. Drop 20 just to drop the pun of the night. We can't grapple with that kind of humor. Hey-o. Plinian, thank you, man. Merry goddamn Christmas. I'm not a shark, I'm a man. Autism and hubris for 2. Thank you so much for that as well. You're talking about me? I'm gonna take it like you're talking about me. No, we'll give that one to Dave. You know what I'm saying? But thank you so much for your support as well.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
PWT universe goated. But yeah, dude, that one ruled. Dave doesn't have autism. He's just an idiot. Yeah, he's just very arrogant, like you said. Cool band name. Dave's hero in Dick Dastardly, Snidely, Whiplash, unhand that horse. Dave thinks Hook's entrance music is modern. Chat. Okay, let's get into this. We got a few more and we're making great time this week. Okay, I whittled her down. So speaking of WWE and whatnot, and thank you so much for the support, guys. Patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times as well if you want a bunch of bonus content. There's my plug for the show. Mick Foley said he's done with WWE as long as Trump's in office. Here's Dave's take. And it's funny because a lot of people compare what Dave does to like what Trump does, which again, on Twitter, people are like, you're MAGA. And then on YouTube, people are like, you have TDS. So whatever. I'm not trying to get all political. Okay. This is Dave's take on it. I'm just saying some people point out that Dave and Trump have some of the same mannerisms. All I'm
Mick Foley announced that he's pretty much done with WWE as long as Trump is in office, he said.
At least for now. Yeah. He was just really upset.
And also, Dave, I think he stooges it here. Mick Foley like reached out to him and Bry. And it's like, Foley, what are you doing?
About WWE cozying up to Trump. It was just hard for him. I have talked to him about the subject.
Oh, it was Dave. I talked to him about it. So Foley calling up Dave and fucking melting down about politics, buddy. Cringe. Cringe.
It's one of those things where it's
love Mick Foley, dude. Foley is God, but cringe
because he feels very strongly on the subject, but at the same time, he knows if he speaks on the subject, it hurts his business. I mean, he told me about that there was a show, right? He made a post, a negative post. This is, before, it was a couple of months ago, right before he was doing a show, and I believe it was in Alabama. And a lot of people the day of the show canceled their tickets. So we kind of know.
Right, because it's Alabama and he was melting down about Trump. What did Alabama vote? Again, I'm not trying to get political, but like, isn't that down south? Like, isn't that more? I don't know, dude. That's probably why. And that's when you get political on either side. That happens. People try to cancel you, then I'll say we're getting canceled while they're canceling each other. It's just redacted territory, just stay away from it. That's
when he does this,
that's my opinion.
A lot of money on his touring shows because people feel in some parts of the country, at least, very strongly that, if you speak against Trump, we're not going to go to your shows.
Just like if you speak against Biden, they're going to do the same thing. It's just what happens, man.
So this is a pretty big step.
I love Mick too. I'm not trying to, but it's kind of cringe for him to be like, and I will not associate with WWE. So now you're doubling down on you not being able to sell as many tickets and shit because you're saying that's the reason why you don't associate with them. It's like he's literally asking for it. And I'm not saying anything, but I mean, I'm talking when it comes to the ticket sales, okay?
Yeah, he kind of knows, like...
Let's chill, guys. I know the Politbros get upset. Let's all chill. We're all good.
He's got his business.
And this is his prerogative, too. I also put Mick over all the guys who say, fuck you to the corporations and go, I'm going to do my thing, and they succeed. You got to applaud that. People making their own... I always have. When Punk did it, when Stone Cold, they say he took his ball and went home, but people look back and they go, look, man, that was like, you still look at Stone Cold, he's one of the GOATs. Punk said fuck you to WWE, said fuck you to AEW, man. Like, everybody loved him. They were chanting his name for a decade because of that when he wasn't even in wrestling, you know what I mean? So good for Mick standing on his own shit too. I ain't clowning. He's a grown-ass man. He can do what he want, but I'll do what I want. Whatever, I'll do what I want.
It's for him to go this public with this. It feels really strong. If Trump is out of office, then he'll revisit the situation.
Yeah, but then they'll be like, "Fuck you, we don't want you back," type shit. So it's cringe.
But that's his feelings for.
It's cringe when people let politics get in the way of business and all this other shit. So moving along here. Let's move on to some I gotta look at chat because I know some people are triggered. So let's get SD's pre-tape because Jake Paul's fighting Anthony Joshua. I gotta watch that as well. CTE, autism, and hubris. Excellent. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you for the other super chat here. Dave. So that's Dave, right? He's making fun of me. That's fine too. You can super chat and make fun of me all you want. So moving along here, okay? We have some takes on the Holiday Bash and the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Okay, so I think we have it in full. Let's watch these clips. Okay, and then we'll see if this audio here adds any extra context. But Bryan and Dave get into another heated argument. So Bryan says they changed. So he's mad that they changed the rules of this thing, and Dave basically just defends AEW, and then Bryan's got to cook him, like trying Bryan does. So I guess we'll give Bryan a trying Bryan here, but yeah, it's just Dave fucking melting down.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
About the Diamond Battle Royale and the also just the Diamond Ring thing in general.
And I don't want to hear one person tell me to pay attention because they've changed the rules of this 3 times in 6 years. The first few times, it was like a battle royal, and whoever won got the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was a battle royal, and the last 2 guys wrestled each other, and the winner got the ring. Then it was the 2 guys wrestle each other, and the winner then faces MJF for the ring. And then this year, apparently, these 2 guys are going to wrestle each other for the ring, and there's no MJF involved.
You can't say they didn't say it and they didn't make it clear.
You can't say they didn't say it and didn't make it clear. Right, Dave? That doesn't mean it's good. That doesn't mean it isn't shit. That doesn't mean it isn't confusing for a casual viewer. It doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do or it's good booking. But yet Dave will cope over this and then cry about the Cena thing and say that disqualifies Triple H from being Booker of the Year because the level of business didn't match last year's. Then what about Tony? He completely has fallen off a cliff since 2019.
Because, my God, they said it week after week.
But where is MJF? How was he not part of this in any way?
Yeah, Dave, it just doesn't matter. Week after week, they said it, Bryan. Doesn't matter. It's shit.
Make no sense for him to be in this.
He doesn't need to be in it, but shouldn't he be defending the ring like he's done every year prior?
Evidently, that's not the thing. Evidently, he's going to be doing something.
Evidently, it's not the thing. So where is that cope when it comes to the Cena thing? Now, provided Dave was being more fair than Bryan was on the Cena thing.
Something else.
We both expected him to be in the Battle Royal, did we not? You opened the review saying he wasn't in the Battle Royal.
He did. I did expect him to be in the Battle Royal because I was pretty sure.
Because it's been 6 years.
Yeah. Well, the winner of the Royal Rumble from the year before doesn't face the winner of the Royal Rumble.
Oh my God, what? And then he does what about WWE?
Shut up, bitch!
Oh my God, this isn't the Royal Rumble.
The best guy is Tony Khan.
Fuck, man. This guy, it just makes you think he's getting paid for sure. Like, how do you even say this without making people believe you're getting paid by them, you know?
Like
Like,
championship shot. The winner of the Royal Rumble gets the championship shot.
Dave,
what the fuck? It's not the Royal Rumble. Holy shit.
every single year.
They've changed.
Every single year, the winner of the Royal Rumble gets the title shot or the Rumble. The only stipulation they've thrown in is it's for the title. That's the only fucking stipulation curveball they've thrown into the Rumble. Otherwise, the winner gets a title shot. Okay? Period, point blank. The same thing with this Diamond Ring. You're trying to say, oh, the Royal Rumble doesn't challenge the Royal Rumble winner. What the fuck does that even mean? You just invented some retarded shit in your brain and then tried to apply that logic to this, something you just invented. Like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? Everyone understands the Royal Rumble because, like Bryan's saying, it's the same thing. I just cannot believe that was Dave's defense. That's insane, bro.
They changed it, but they told you they changed it. They've told you they changed it.
I do agree with Dave. Okay, they told it in that regard. They told you that they changed it, but it's just the expectation of the fans and the casuals. But again, this business isn't for the casuals. It's not for the Diamond Ring is something that's kind of worked. MJF has come back right at the same time as it. It just made sense to, sometimes, as Dave said, as Dave has said a few times, you got to give the people what they want sometimes. The smart thing is to fucking do the expected thing. This was one of those times. Unlike the Cena thing. I think the dumb thing would have been just Cena wins and then all the fickle fans, just no one's talking about it 2 days later. Give them their cake and eat it too, and then it's just on to the next one. That's how that happens, right? So they didn't get their cake, or they got their cake, but they didn't get, or I don't know what the analogy would be for the Cena situation, but Cena fucking lost. People cried about it till today, a week later, So this Dynamite Diamond Ring, this is where you have MJF come back and blow the roof off the bitch, and then instead he just inserted himself in a 4-way between 4 guys that we've seen cross over like 100 fucking times. We're stuck in a time loop in AEW.
I mean, you're building it up in your head because in your head and in my head, we expected MJF in. The fact is he was never advertised. They never said he would be in, and they explained the rules.
He should at least, like they've done every year, defend the Diamond Ring against whoever wins.
Well, in the entire buildup, they never once talked about MJF defending the ring.
Yeah, but that's dumb.
And Dave,
never
isn't
talked about
that weird after 6 years? That's what I'm asking you. You don't find
they
that
said
weird?
The rules. No, they said the rules are different. They change the rules every. You the one who said they change the rules every year.
I know, but MJF was involved every single solitary year,
and every year
no one has ever won except him.
And every single year they built the whole thing around him, and this year they never mentioned him once.
And you don't find that
that's the problem. That's some WWE shit when they pretend like, oh, we'll just move over here. I'm over here now. That's the problem, dude. At least explain like, well, MJF isn't here to defend it, whatever. And then he comes back and he's like, I can't defend my diamond ring. What the fuck? But you know what? I do have this clause in my contract where I get a rematch at my title and I'm invoked. They could even did that. But instead, he just talked about WWE and showed off his nice hair growth medication or whatever. He's
weird.
No, not at all. If they had advertised him.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's fucking laughable. I'm with Bri on this one. So let's hear Bryan go off on this a little bit more in MJF's promo.
So first off, Tony hosts Hangman, Swerve, and Joe for the contract signing. And then the lights go out. MJF returns. Crowd goes nuts. They sing him to the ring. He gets in the ring, signs the contract, cashes in his gimmick, and is now a 4-way. Okay?
He very much came across as a babyface. I mean, like not just that the people cheered him, which they did, and they were going to, but his promo, was very much like a babyface promo.
The thing about it that I was actually kind of baffled by is...
No, it was very much a heel promo. He was calling people Diddy and shit, but they just cheered him, Dave.
This was the ultimate.
Because they missed MJF.
When it comes to one guy's just going to talk nonstop and nobody else gets to say a word. You had 3 top stars, the champion and 2 top baby faces, and he runs them down one at a time and nobody got to say anything.
Yeah, he bitched them all up. And again, no one will criticize. Bryan's pointing it out, thank God, but no one's going to criticize this shit. Samoa Joe gets over more if he just punches you in the fucking mouth. It doesn't work where he's just being dressed down out of nowhere and they all just stand there and take it.
Joe said a little bit, but very little.
But he just got run over, and he did the.
And Joe did say a little bit. Why? Because Joe he's not going to sit there and let you just dress him down. So Joe tried to get in a little bit, but it's again in WWE, man, they'd be all over this shit. Like white on rice, they'd be all over this shit. Like, oh, they fucking just made Oba Femi look stupid. If that was Oba just standing there and letting fucking,
entire promo on Joe. He did the entire promo on Swerve. He did the entire promo on Hangman. And then he left. And that was it. Now, granted, this was a long, long segment. And I did think that all 3 of his promos were great. But it was astonishing to just see him bury all 3 guys and then leave. And they didn't get any sort of rebuttal.
Yeah, it almost should have been MJF out there alone, breaking down the Dynamite Ring situation so that Bri wouldn't cry. And then breaking down how he's invoking, but in my contract, I have this rematch clause and I'm using it at World's End. And then he could have buried everyone without them saying shit or coming down to the ring, like whatever. then it's like, oh, whatever. I'll just laugh it off type shit. I think it would have did a little more, but whatever. Booker of the year. Tone's the Booker of the year, not I. So let's listen to these clips and see if there's any more context here.
And then the match just stopped.
And then they said they'll square off for the finals and the ring next week, and the fans booed. Yep. So at this point, I have no fucking idea what's going on, and I don't want to hear one person tell me
Brian's real confused.
because they've changed the rules of this 3 times in 6 years. Okay, the first few times it was like a battle royal, and whoever won got the ring. Mm-hmm. Then it was a battle royal, and the last 2 guys wrestled each other, and the winner got the ring. Then it was the 2 guys wrestle each other, and the winner then faces MJF for the ring. And then this
So
year,
we heard this part. Let me skip ahead a little bit. I think we heard like about 2 minutes of their arguing, but there's some more.
I mean, the people didn't understand because, again, in other years it was different, but you can't say they didn't.
So Dave admitting the people didn't understand, but you can't say they didn't tell you. Defending Tony. It's always the people's fault. It's always the blaming the fans. Yeah, that works so well for everyone.
Say it, and they didn't make it clear because, my God, they said it week after week.
Oh, Triple H got booed out of the building, and him and Cena like embraced it and laughed about it, and he went out in front of the fans and they chanted AEW. Yeah, because that's what you do. You fucking address it. You don't ignore it. He's fucking Dave's just sweeping for them, like just completely ignoring MJF and providing no explanation. Treat the fans like they're dumb. Oh, you mean like Vince was doing in 2014 and shit, bro? Like, come on, man.
But where is MJF? How was he not part of this in any way?
It would make no sense for him to be in this.
He doesn't need to be in it.
It would make no sense. So there's more to this clip than the clip before. That's why Meltzer said what provides more context than they do. Of course, it makes no sense for MJF to be in this. What?
To be in this.
He doesn't need to be in it, but shouldn't he be defending the ring like he's done?
Or just explain why he's not defending the ring, and then do a double swerve where it's like, he can't defend this ring. Then he shows up and is like, oh, really? Not only am I defending this ring, but I'm challenging the world champ too, bitch. Could have been like double. Oh, fuck. Double MJF. Oh, shit.
And every year prior?
Evidently, that's not the thing. Evidently, he's going to be doing.
So here we go. Let's fast forward a bit.
They made that clear. They didn't say the winner's getting MJF, that MJF was involved. The rules of this one were very clear that the winner is the one that gets the ring. The winner of the singles match gets the ring, and then in January gets it.
I hope it leads to MJF calling whoever wins out, but then it's just ass backwards. Now, the best thing MJF could do is lobby to get himself in a program with Stinkashay where he's just fucking roasting him on TV every week. I'm telling you right now, that would get the IWC would fucking fall in love with MJF. And he already caters to that shit with the shots at WWE and stuff. So if he wants to like extra triply, doubly get over with the wackos and shit too, you start burying Ricochet and you go after your diamond ring after Ricochet wins it or whatever.
Over and over and over. This is not like just one thing that they sprung on you. I mean, I heard it for a couple of weeks now. They've been building this match up and the rules and the steps and everything like that. So it's not, they didn't not tell you. I mean, sure, they could have done a big video package like they do for a Royal Rumble. Maybe they could.
No, there should be some explanation.
No, there should be some explanation. Yeah, maybe they could have did a big video package like they do for the, yeah. They should have, like.
About why the defending champion for 6 years.
Like Dave's sitting here blaming the fans again. Oh, well, it's your guys' fault. You don't understand.
Nothing to do with this. That's what I'm talking about. We both expected him to be in the Battle Royal, did we not? You opened the review saying he wasn't in the Battle Royal.
He did. I did expect him to be in the Battle Royal because I was pretty sure.
Because it's been.
I knew he was about to say because I knew he was coming back because I talked to Tony Khan, the best guy.
6 years.
Yeah. Well, the winner of the Royal Rumble from the year before doesn't face the winner of the Royal Rumble.
Oh my God. So we got to skip through that or I will punch a fucking hole in my computer screen. The winner of the Rumble? Oh God. You didn't
You're
just
building it up in your head because in your head and in my head, we expected MJF in. The fact is he was never advertised. They never said he would be in and they explained the rules. And
see, this is the problem with Dave's criticism there. And I know we already heard him say this, but Well, you built it up in your head. Well, actually in my head too, because why? Because that's the logical thing. Stop fighting against it. Stop fighting against the real shit. You know what I'm saying, dude?
MJF match that he'd have to win a couple of matches when he's already in the championship match. So there you go.
Well, because after 6 years of having the ring,
Yeah, it's his diamond ring, and only it's his ring. He's done so much. He's gone above and beyond to keep it. And now it's like, whatever. It's not even a thing.
and having to defend the ring, and there have been matches for the ring.
He's already got the world title. Yeah, but the diamond ring didn't mean automatic world title match instantly either. I think a few years it just meant you have a fucking diamond ring.
They didn't. They didn't.
Is not involved.
And in none of the build-up.
Bryan's defeated. He's a cuck whipping boy though. He has to sit there and take this shit. He has to just take it, bro. That's crazy, man.
Never mention his name once. Did they ever go? The winner will have, MJF has won 5 times.
It was very clear the fans were expecting him to be in this match or something different than what happened. Because there was no reaction when it came down to two guys.
Wait a minute. Once he did.
Wait a minute. Now he gets offended by. Oh, look. Now because Bryan's going no reaction, and they don't care because Stinkashay just won that fucking other belt or whatever, and then went to Ring of Honor with it, dude. So people don't care. They didn't care about that. Why do they care about Fingershay winning the ring?
Something different than what happened. Because there was no reaction when it came down to two guys.
Wait a minute. Once he did that promo, I don't think anyone expected him in that match because he never referenced the match.
Yeah, Yes. Yep. It made the promo more confusing. And Davey, you had said it before, buddy. The people didn't get it. I mean, what else? I don't know what else I can say. I'm fucking beating a dead horse here. Dave will never accept reality.
In the match, wouldn't he have mentioned in the promo? No, he didn't mention the promo. In the promo,
well, no, but he should at least.
Yeah, he should have fucking talked about it then. That was the opportunity. Again, it was a double bad booking. Just admit it. Booker of the year. Fuck.
Every year, defend the diamond ring against.
He shouldn't have went out and buried everybody just right in their faces, and because the pop was no greater because of it, and he just sunned everyone. And he should have explained why he's not in the diamond ring. That's all I need. I wouldn't have got triggered like Bryan over. Because you can't have him in it every time. I agree with that. But explain that. That's all you got to do.
Never wins.
Well, in the entire build.
Or MJF even could have said, like, I'm going to win my world title back. Then Fingershay, I'm coming for you, bitch boy. Or whoever wins that. I'm assuming Ricochet's going to win it.
Talked about MJF defending the ring.
And Dave, isn't that weird after 6 years? That's what I'm asking you. You don't find that weird?
The rules? No, they said the rules are different. They changed the rules.
They changed the rules. So let's see if there's any more. See, this is like 7 minutes of Dave, or like more like 6 minutes of Dave coping. And then their clip of it is just like a 2-minute long, compilation of the best hits from this argument. But there's more context here. So shut out. Meltzer said, "What the goat?"
Said they change the rules every year.
I know, but MJF was involved every single.
So we heard all this.
The whole thing around him, and this year they never mentioned him.
We heard
Royal
this.
Rumble, is that weird?
The Royal Rumble again. Oh, he brings it back. He went back to the Royal Rumble. Oh my God, he's coping.
Royal Rumble, and the next year he's not in the Royal Rumble. Is that weird? Did they?
No, you fucking Bryan. Listen to the silence when he asks. Bryan has no answer. I feel so bad for Bryan. Is that weird? No, bitch. And typically the person who wins the Rumble, if they're not the champion, yes, they are in the Rumble the next year. Like typically, really think about it. There's 30 guys. Usually, yeah, whoever won it the year before is in it. Austin won it 3 years in a fucking row or whatever, 2 years in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason for that. So, yeah, yes, they just don't market it as it's the returning Rumble champion because you win the Rumble to become the champ. So they've never veered off from that. The only stipulation they threw in to mix it up is it's for the actual title, and the early, like the first ever one, the winner just won the Rumble. And I don't know if they got a title shot for that. So it's like, okay, does that count? That was them, that was the first couple, and I get it with the internet. It's hard for AEW to get ahead, but it's been 6 straight years. So that's not like, hey, well, the first one, the rules were different than the last 5. You can't even give it that because it's just been, or I guess with the rules, but as far as MJF being involved, right? It's like in the Royal Rumble. If Hacksaw Jim Duggan was involved, won the first 6, then yeah, it'd be weird if he wasn't in 7, if he could still go. You guys get what I'm getting at? But that's never been what the Rumble is. So Dave makes it about the Rumble. This isn't the Rumble redact. How the fuck do you make it about the Rumble? Holy shit, this one irks me too. 2 irked me bad tonight. The Rumble and the fucking TNT HBO Sports thing.
If they had advertised him, sure. What if Hulk Hogan wins the Royal Rumble and the next year he's not in the Royal Rumble? You know, is that weird? Do they, if they don't advertise him in the Royal Rumble? No. Just give someone else a chance.
What the fuck?
No.
Oh my God.
Yes, it's what they did in the past, but
I'm freaking out. Holy shit.
Built this thing up. It's not
Bry has 0 answer. And he can't even get an answer out. Dave's just still psychobabbling. But Bry literally is like, how do I even respond to this? He would have a Phil Marks meltdown like I am right now. He'd be like, whoa, what the fuck? That's why he can't. He's like, oh, he's like choking up. Don't lose your job. Don't lose your job.
like, it's like
I'm business partners with this guy. Fuck.
You're building this thing up in your
Listen
head.
to the sigh. All he can do is sigh.
And they explained this and never said any of this. So yes, they changed the rules and they told you what the rules were, and they've been building it up.
Imagine if just out of nowhere they're like, hey, the Royal Rumble, it's not gonna be for the title, or the winner gets the title, and it's just gonna be NXT and AAA and TNA guys, and the winner gets a shot at the fucking NXT title. We would all be like, what the fuck? Maybe that's even a bad comparison because you can't even make this comparison. Never mind. Fuck my redacted fucking comparison too, because that was stupid too. This whole thing's stupid, okay? I'm triggered. I'm effectively triggered, okay?
And never brought the match up. So of course he wasn't going to be.
I'm not even thinking straight now. Bry's doing the right thing, just keeping his mouth shut. Maybe that's the right. You just let this guy have his little melty, and then you just, let it happen.
And maybe he would have if it was something different. But the storyline went.
Oh my God.
Couldn't be. It would be stupid for him to be in
This whole thing's stupid, Dave.
Match, going for this ring when he's already got the title shot, and for all we know, he's going to end up being the champion. Then what do? You have,
and for all we know, and this is the thing, because Dave knows shit we don't know, but we all know that MJF's going to be the champion. But because him and Joe just take turns with the belt when they take turns taking off the film shit. Shout out Joe, love him, love MJF too. Not gonna lie, but Dave knows that MJF's going to win the title, so and then Joe will go away to film Twisted Metal, and then that frees up Hangman and Swerve to like keep doing their shit or whatever, or to keep teaming up. Fucking cringe.
You have what do you do? Maybe in the end,
Dave knows this. He texts Tony.
He'll do something if he's the champion.
Tony calls him.
Bring it up later, but you can't bring it up now because he wasn't going to be in the match.
Orange Cassidy versus Massacre Dorada.
He just moves on. Oh, Bry with a deep breath and just moves on. Oh my God. Maybe that's
you are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing.
That's gotta be the better.
You're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard, coping and seething.
It's so good, man. Bry, just fucking listen to that one more time. He just deep breath and just mascara dorada. He just moves on, dude.
Going to be in the match.
Orange Cassidy versus Massacre Dorada. This match was just kind of there.
He just changes the subject. Oh my God. He was fucking pissed, bud. I love that so much, man. He was fucking angry, dude. Oh shit. I can't wait till Bry has had enough, and then he comes on PWT to vent his frustrations with Dave. So JD from NY, and we're going to cover this on PWT. Boy, do we have a jam-packed PWT live show tomorrow, guys. Okay? But JD reacts to Sports Illustrated. So their list came out of their end of the year awards, and it's just all AEW. They're just standing for AEW. Now, we know why a bunch of these folks do this. Because when it benefits them, they want to go, corporation bad, but then they don't criticize Tony Khan going out there and getting fans to chant pay-per-view and shit. You know? And then when it benefits them, they kiss up to Tony Khan because they can get jobs. They just know that they can get jobs. That's really all it is. And then they don't want the wrestlers like Jade. You don't want Dax Harwood to fucking make a t-shirt of you on it saying of you with cheeseburgers or whatever the fuck that shirt, that cringy ass. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. PWT live show Wednesday and Saturday nights live on YouTube. But they SI put out this list, whatever. They were busted for like using AI to write articles. And then I thought they like went out of business, but then I guess they picked up John Alba and he's the only guy trying to keep their credibility alive, which he's just kind of a pompous douche. Let's be fucking completely honest. Alba stinks. So JD says Sports Illustrated Pro Wrestling Year-End Award for 2025, bought and paid for by Tony Khan. So blatantly a counter by AEW using that platform to peddle their bullshit against WWE and ESPN. How anyone believes the slop they put together for that article is beyond me. It reads like a press release cosplaying as journalism. There's no analysis, no balance, just agenda dressed up as credibility. And then John Alba comes in and goes, 7 voters. Everyone covers everything. Point system for voting. All write-ins and not given options. It was about as fair of a process as possible. So was it bought by TKO last year when WWE nearly swept the awards? Conspiracy theories are cool until they're not, man. Which, fair enough. I disagree with JD. I don't think that it's bought and paid for by Tony Khan. I just don't think that. I think a lot of people. So, okay, now this is a double-edged sword, the topic. Like the end of the year awards we're talking about. But could those end of the year awards be influenced by other things? Now, let me just throw this out there, and other people have thrown this out there, and we're going to talk about it more tomorrow. You know, why did nobody stooge MJF's return? Like, why were no dirt sheets melting down about a pre-taped Dynamite, and why did people leak fake Collision results and shit like that? And they didn't have Collision results because Tony's chumming up to people. He's chumming up to the media like he did at the start of 2019 because he's worried about this TV thing that's going on with Netflix, WBD, Paramount, all this shit. And so he's going back to what like made him popular in the beginning was him chumming up to these dirt sheets. Now we've broken this down here. The only reason he went back on Ariel Helwani and allows wrestlers to go back on there is because Ariel started saying nice things about AEW. Tony Khan admitted as much during that interview, right? You guys can go listen to it. He says it. Well, you started saying nice things about us, so. And now he's openly responding to Fightful. And I saw the other day, Tony responded to, there's this Twitter account called Synesthetic. And they posted a picture of Mila Jovovich and Katsuchika Okada from 2016 on the set of a movie, I believe. And it's from 2016, long before even AEW was a thing. And it's like a very popular Twitter account. And Tony Khan responded to it and was like, thanks for posting this. Remember, AEW's on tonight. Whatever. He did this like yesterday. Cringe as fuck. But it is what it is, right? Like at least, he's calling Dave on the phone. That's why Dave sweeps for him. He gave Will Washington a job. We know who Will Washington's buddies with, right? Where he worked before and shit, right? We see him responding directly to Fightful and on Thanksgiving and saying, "Oh, come on your show." Right. We see who he responds to. We see like who he's chumming up to. Da-da-da-da. So again, this could be SI like, and Tony posted a graphic and it was like, he quickly hit up his graphics department to be like, make a graphic of this. Cause it's in the AEW black and gold Sports Illustrated voted like 19 categories or whatever for AEW. overwhelmingly positive towards AEW. So are they not, are there not Sports Illustrated guys going, huh, maybe I could get a job, dude? I'm willing to believe it. I'm willing to believe that. Why are they hiding? Where was John Alba with the breaking MJF returns? There was like a random fan video. You guys saw it. I had to play it on the show. The dirt sheets couldn't wait to talk about Austin Theory, but they couldn't help, but they could rather help themselves when it came to MJF. I don't understand. So either way, man, you can't blame people for being a little conspiratorial, especially lately when people are giving fake results for collisions and shit that are pre-taped. But when WWE's pre-taped, the sheets can't wait to fucking write about the things that are being stooged. It's a little weird. I mean, I don't even agree with JD's take. Like, I don't think the year-end awards were bought and paid for, but influenced, very likely. It's like when Conrad's like, oh, Bleacher Report hated on John Cena's retirement. Yeah, well, they're owned by TNT Sports, so it's like they're owned by Warner Bros, man. So it's like, yeah, they are going to likely glaze AEW more than not. Like, just think about it, So you can't be mad at people for their conspiracy theories, like their tinfoil hats for going off on when it comes to stuff like this, man. And then Danny Jefferson says SI is owned by WBD. I don't think that's true. Alba says it most definitely is not. And then Alba responds again. It's just funny when you get guys like Conrad Thompson and Alba responding multiple times to shit. I think that's funny. Alba goes, and for the record, I didn't agree with all of the winners, but it was a fair process that was evenly weighted. Had no options before writing in nominees and rankings, etc. Everyone on staff covers everything. Right. A lot of these hacky pro wrestling writers, though, are like, it's art for me, man. And they get hired and then they write dumb bullshit. And this is what happened in the gaming community. This is what happened in the movie community. This is what happened and is still going on in all of these other spheres of entertainment. A bunch of these hacky hacktivists who really want to be like crying about politics and shit. They're too shitty to make it in that field. So then they get into these like, I'm gonna take but like comicbook.com or no shots at anyone, but like, all these fucking websites that cover Screen Rant and shit, whatever. It is what it is. Okay. They hired people who are very hacktivisty, as I call it. And Sports Illustrated's no different. And a lot of these, that's why you see in a lot of these companies, a lot of these Sports Illustrateds and shit, they're very virtue signally and shit. And it seems to be like AEW fits that their fans. They fit the descriptor more of being virtue signally, I would say, right? No, am I off on that? I would say I'm right on that assessment. So moving along here. So Dave Meltzer quote tweeted and had this to say, and he tears down JD. I'm over here now. And Dave says actually, the guy you are responding to. So let me just point this out in defense of JD. So Dax walks around with t-shirts of JD on, thinking it's an own. Like, you're wearing this guy's on your t-shirt like a fucking fangirl, dude. How is that an own? It's so beyond cringy, right? And so Dax walks around with this guy's t-shirt on. Dax is calling Dave on the phone and telling him shit and defending Dave after burying Dave for years when it benefited him. Now he's defending Dave. And Dax is bullying JD, or is it bullying? I don't know. JD's got the biggest voice in the fucking pro wrestling space, so I don't know if it's really punching down or like he gets more views than AEW in some instances. You know what I'm saying? So like that one's iffy. I think it's on an even playing field. Okay, when it comes to JD boxing back and forth with Meltzer and these other guys. Meltzer wish he had JD's numbers and shit. You know what I mean? So these guys block everyone They glaze each other and respond to each other. Elbu responds to Dave. Dave responds to Elbu. Dave responds to Alba, but won't respond to JD, but will call him a fraud from afar. It's just so cringy. And it's such little girl shit for old men to be doing. But Dave calling other people a fraud is fucking hilarious. And Dax's phone getting calls from Tony Khan and pitching the idea for Dax's match that it shouldn't run over on the pay-per-view. So who's he telling that to? Dax. Dave thinks it's okay to pile on JD. Dave doesn't like when he gets piled on, but it's okay to pile on JD. Why? Because you and Dax and Tony Khan are in a little girl text message group fucking laughing about it. Pretty cringe, man. So Dave goes, the guy you are responding to isn't even hiding that he's a fraud. No normal person would react that way. But you're sweeping for Mick Foley because he calls you on the phone for how he's reacting over some pretty cringy shit too, dude. That's all I'm saying. I spent hours talking awards with someone who watches most everything on Sunday, and we both realized this not going to be a good year. Boop, boop, boop. Grok wrote this for me. Meltzer. Grr. Look at this fucking redact. I spent hours talking awards with someone who watches most everything on Sunday, and we both realized this not going to be a good year for WWE after 2024 was. Whoa, you're on pills. Are you drunk, buddy? Whoa.
Poor people don't like AEW.
Whoa, Dave. Dave Seltzer waving on the seltzers or what, buddy? What the fuck? Whoa, let me read this one more time. I spent hours talking awards with someone who watches most everything on Sunday, and we both realized this not going to be a good year for WWE after 2024 was. Whoa, lay off the fucking seltzers, Dave.
This just in, we have
Wowza.
confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
Wow, dude. Too many martinis or what there, bud? So Dave says won't be for NJPW either, although they do have at least one guaranteed winner, and I guess WWE also has one. Like anyone gives a fuck. Oh my God, I didn't know this. I'm looking at John Alba's Twitter right now. He fucking works for Screen Rant too. I didn't even know that. I didn't even dude. Oh, do I have stories? That's from my Phil Marks Out channel. Anyways, wow, dude, double points for Phil Marks. Whatever, man. This guy's drunk and he's talking shit. And and then JD, high on caffeine, says, now I'm turned up now. It takes one to know one, right, Dave? Calling someone a fraud while presenting yourself as an authority is fucking rich. This is the same publication that once wrote a letter had his brain... A letter. I'm dyslexic. A wrestler had his brain removed and put back in. That's what she said. Go! That's what she said before I chew her to the curb. Forgive me if I don't take lectures about credibility, objectivity, or normal reactions. Let me ask you, seriously, from people who confuse opinion with facts and then hide behind influence when challenged. When criticism of an award is met with insults instead of answers, the award stops being analysis and starts being dogma. Damn, JD actually cooked there, dude. Actually cooked there. Yo. He actually cooked there. He did. That last shit actually cooked. And this is the problem with like the award shows, just in general. People are like, there has to be merit, like why the fuck no one saw. There's people who argue no one saw this indie bullshit. They just give it because they think they're being artsy fucks. And then there's other people who argue, well, the biggest box office draw doesn't mean it's the best movie and shit. It's the same type of argument that you see in Hollywood sometimes. And I don't know, JD was actually spitting there for a second. So I give the point to JD there. I never give Dave any points because he sucks ass, and that's why we make fun of you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Dave Meltzer's dumb moment of the week. We'll play a bass flute for fucking drunk Meltzer. That might be the wave Meltzer, the Dave Seltzer fucking sound too when he has a bass take. But yeah, that's why we will forever clown you, Dave Meltzer. I have been Phil Marks, and this was Dave Meltzer dumb moment of the week. One more time for the people in the back. Let's go. We burnt them. We cooked them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Check me out. Phil Marks Out is my other channel. And you guys already know PWT Live Show Saturday and Wednesday night. I appreciate you all. We'll see you in the Upside Down. Peace.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
You're overdue. I just felt it's something that makes you look good, and that's cool, and you know, I'm all for it, but I think you need to tone this down because now it's getting intrusive to the show. But they can go in the afternoon for a US
Hold
show,
on a second.
as they did there, and they
Dave?
can do 180,000 buys for an afternoon show, which they've also done for All In. So
Okay,
we
hold
know
on.
they can do. We know they can do big.
Can I
numbers for an
continue
afternoon.
this before you cut me off? We know one thing.
Yes.
We know it
No,
might have done well because
I'm
it went
not-
on first.
I'm not saying it would.
Here's my thing, Dave.
But here's okay. Wait. Okay, here's the thing.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, it didn't mean anything to me. It was just a match.
That's the problem, Dave. It should mean something to you.
Give him a quick squash win just to show that, like, you know, he's not a loser.